Hi guys, hopefully you just watched my other one about what I do with my horses generally. This is a separate tutorial about my breeding methods. I'll go find one of my older mares, I think, would be a better example to do this from. Here's Az. This was my baby, this was my first good ranker with this new system. She was ranked 8 at her best. So this is Az seen on TV. She's a thoroughbred mare. I breed thoroughbreds, which I know that's a cop-out pretty much because they're a really popular breed. But to be honest, I find they're really fun to play around with. There's a lot of different lines available. It's just a fun breed for me. So I breed thoroughbreds. That's what I do. I have lines that I really like, and I find it very difficult to get people to breed to my studs or buy my foals or buy my finished horses. I rarely ever sell horses that aren't finished or aren't foals. And even then I rarely sell foals. Most of the horses I sell are horses like this, although younger. I wouldn't sell her at this stage, there's no point, she wouldn't get very much. I'll sell, say, between 15 and 22-year-old horses or something, horses that have been shown, that have been jumped, that might have produced a couple of foals already. That's what I'll sell, and I find it very difficult to sell anything. Very, very difficult to sell anything. I'll put a post up and get views, but no responses, or I'll put a post up and won't even get views. So generally I retire, which you can see from my really, really large retirement figure. So anyway, with my breeding, I have lines that I particularly like, and a lot of other people don't notice that about my horses. I go for production ability. This horse is a very good example of that. You can see her jump is pretty good. Her rank was really good. If I can go prove that. See, rank 8 when she was 12 years old. Then that was before I really understood that you've got to leave horses alone once they get good ranks, and she went back really quickly. Other horses I've got were ranked better for longer, sort of thing. Anyway, so she's got lines that I really, really like. I have several horses with this or a similar cross by by a relative of the dam or something like that, you know. Because these are very, very nice horses in my opinion. This guy, Rip Van Winkle's in my Hall of Fame on my barn page because he produced some really nice foals when he was producing. As you can see, I bred him. I think I bought the dam and I just picked the stallion at random. He only jumped 75 inches. This was about when the updates occurred, and he was slightly too old to improve anymore. But he produced some pretty nice horses. Like, what do we got? We got Az seen on TV. Century, she was ranked quite well herself and then had a foal that ranked very well. Continuum was about 79 inches, I think. The Bullfighter he's had some very nice foals from, I think he's only had a couple, like a limited crop, but he's had some very nice foals that I've got in my barn at the moment that I bred from him before I sold him. Velaroff was 82 inches. Pasodoble was about 78 inches, I think. So he's had a couple and really nice horses. Gurner's Lane didn't jump very high, but he sired some very nice horses. So this is a line that I like for its producing ability. I don't care for supers that cannot produce their way out of a paper bag. No offense to the owner of Iblis, I can't remember who it is, but he's not produced very well for me. So I might use some of his progeny in my lines, but I'm not going to actively go out and search for him because the two horses I got from him were not the best. One of them jumped 79 inches, which is great, but he didn't show very well, I think. The other one only jumped 76 inches and didn't show very well at all. So, in my opinion, that's not good enough for me. That's no offences intended, that's just how I view things. How long is this video? I might need... Okay. So, Aslan was the dam of As Seen on TV. Banner was by SFI Mazeppa, who was Elmo's Pride and Joy, as you can see there. He didn't produce very well himself. He was pretty royally bred, but no one was interested in him. And as you can see, he didn't go very well. And this is a show horse. So I only used him briefly, and he produced Aslan, and Aslan was out of Isle of Az, who was from Azkaban, who was by Azkaban. Who was Stewart Island by? Machiavellian. Okay, so here we go. Machiavellian was a horse that I had this is pre-updates. and he had some stunning foals. So did the mare. He had some stunning foals that produced well. So he was a really good boy. Azkaban was the clone of Alcatraz, who I bought. But he had some very nice foals himself. He's also in my Hall of Fame because he started this massive line. A couple of his other descendants have gone on to be by Rip Van Winkle, so obviously this cross is working very well. But yeah, he produced some very, very nice foals. I couldn't sell this girl as a foal. It was impossible for me to sell her. So then she had Isle of Az. She had some very ordinary foals herself, but then Isle of Az went on to produce As Seen on TV. So, Aslan rather, who produced As Seen on TV. So I believe in lines. See, this picture is my good mare's picture. So if you see that in the foals list, that's what I'm going on about. So I believe in breeding ability. I don't care if a horse is a super. I do not care. I don't care. If it jumps 78 inches or over naturally, that's my horse that I'm going to look at. If it ranks well, I'm going to look at it as well. I mean, who wouldn't? But yeah, so I'll go through in another video and explain what I'd look for in a public stud. This is just my lines, I guess. What else have I got? I guess, yeah, so that's my favourite line. That Azkaban Rip Van Winkle cross is pretty good. I think I bought back Stella in the end. Yeah, I bought her back in the end. I sold her and then bought her back. Her foals are pretty ordinary by the looks of it. But yeah, so no. I generally, with my stallions, I'll give them one crop and I'll leave them, or I'll breed a couple more for them just sparingly. But I'll give them one decent crop, and when they're about 12, 15 or something, and when those foals start hitting 5 or 8, the stallion's still active, he's still about 20 whatever, and then I can breed more from him. That's what I'll do. That's just how I operate. Mares I won't breed from until they're about 15 or something, because I generally don't have room. I'll go through and tell you what I look for when I'm culling horses in another video, I guess. I better write that down or I'm going to forget it. But yeah, that's generally what I look for in my lines. Those are my lines to you guys. I look for crosses that are good. And it really bugs me sometimes when people won't buy my horses because they're not supers or they're not jumping very high or something, because they do have that ability to produce nice foals. So yeah, that's basically my horses for anyone who's interested. That's my one cross that I really particularly like. Yeah, I'll go through public studs in another video, I think. How long have I got? 2 minutes. Yeah, I'll go through and I'll do another video. So this was my video about the Rip Van Winkle Azkaban cross.